Hey guys, I'm Mark McIlyar with Live Anabolic, and today I want to give you just a brief overview of what's been going on here at Live Anabolic, on this YouTube channel, on our Facebook group, and me personally. So let's just start off first with our Facebook group. A lot of you guys watching might have been members of our group. It was called Anabolic Tribe, and we had 28,000 members in the group, and I was in there almost every day, answering questions, posting things, just kind of keeping everybody, interested in health and fitness, and just trying to kind of keep the ball rolling, so to speak. Well, we're constantly adding new members, and occasionally we get fakes or scam artists becoming members who really just want to sell stuff to all the other members in our group. Well, what'll happen is they'll come into the group, they won't do anything for a few days, and then they'll post a question or something about steroids. Well, we delete that post as soon as we see it, and we ban the author of the post permanently, okay? Well, guess what? If myself or one of our other administrators don't get on the Facebook group for 2 or 3 days, then that post stays on our Facebook timeline for several days until we get to it and delete it, kick it out of here. We've been doing that for years, all right? No problem. Then all of a sudden we wake up one day and our Facebook group has been shut down. And Facebook has just sent us this real short cryptic message saying that basically, we've broken the rules. And if we think that we've been shut down unfairly, we need to protest and blah, blah, blah. Well, we send them a protest and they say, thank you. It's an automated bullshit reply. It's probably an AI reply. It says, thank you for your response. Usually we'll get back to you within 4 days after evaluating your request. Well, that was, 2 months ago. So anyway, we assume it was from some jackass. And I noticed that one of our posts, one of the last posts on our timeline was a guy talking about steroids. And anyway, so I can't, none of us here at Live Anabolic can access our Facebook group. And that's why you guys, are totally clueless. All of a sudden, the group's gone. You can't log on anymore. So that's what's going on there. And I'm afraid it's gone for good. And that just shows you what type of a company Mark Zuckerberg has created. It's just a screw you type of thing. If you're not a gigantic corporation, then they don't give a damn. Simple as that. Literally, they won't even listen to us, and they won't even go back and look at our history where we can prove to them that we've deleted hundreds of these bullshit steroid posts over the years. Doesn't matter. It's AI. We don't even get to talk to a human being at that company. So that's why we're gone off of Facebook, and that's why you can't access us anymore. But we're still here on YouTube, live and well, posting a video or two every week. You might notice we got about 700,000 subscribers. We got over 1,000 videos on this channel. Myself and Gary Walker both have over 500 each. And the reason you're not seeing Gary Walker post any more videos, and it's been probably 8 or 9 months maybe since he's posted a video, is because Gary just has gone full-time trainer. All right, so he's got a ton of clients that he trains remotely, via the internet, over the phone, via Zoom calls, those kind of things. So, man, that's just become a just fantastic business for him, and he's just too busy. He just doesn't have the bandwidth to shoot videos for our channel anymore. So we wish Gary a fantastic, great life and good luck in his business. He's brilliant. He really knows his stuff inside and out. Not just the exercise and workout portion, but the nutrition portion. The guy knows that his breadth of knowledge is fantastic. And so if you want to get trained by somebody who's super smart and really knows this stuff and can help motivate you and help you lose weight, put on muscle, you need to get in touch with Gary Walker. Simple as that. Okay, so before I move into the final topic is what's going on with me, which is not all that exciting, but please, because we're just focused on YouTube now, be sure and subscribe to this channel and post comments below and share this with some of your buddies. All right, now let's transition from YouTube to me. You may fall asleep right now, okay? But anyway, a couple of years, 2.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with AFib. And for those of you who don't know much about it, it's just an electrical issue. It's not a physical problem. My heart muscles and my arteries were in fantastic shape, they said. But the nerves in one of the chambers of my heart were firing out of sync. And so when my heart pumped, it didn't pump enough blood. It wasn't as efficient as it should be. And so basically what it does is it just means that you get really out of breath anytime you start stressing yourself, trying to run or lift heavy weights. And we noticed it when I was in Colorado mountain climbing. I couldn't breathe, and all my buddies were like, dude, what's the matter? You know, this is no big deal. I couldn't jog a quarter mile without having to stop and catch my breath. Lifting weights, not doing curls, not small muscle groups, like leg press where you're using a lot of big muscles. I would get really, really out of breath. It would take me a minute and a half to catch my breath after just doing a single set. So long story short, we decided to have surgery, and it's called ablation. And guys, it was really no big deal. It's outpatient surgery. They sent me home that night. They go up in a vein in your leg, and they go in your heart. They zap, they monitor this chamber in your heart, and they literally just try to kill some of the nerves that are firing incorrectly. They just kill them. And then once they're happy with that, boom, they pull everything out, put a patch on you, watch you for a couple of hours, and then send you home. All right? No pain. All right? You don't remember anything. Post-surgery, no pain. It's really cool. You just are really worn out from the anesthesia. It makes you feel like an old man. I was walking mojo, and I looked like Joe Biden. I mean, literally like Joe Biden. That's how beat up I was. But man, within a month, the doctor says, go out and do whatever you want. The doctor was never worried about my heart. They just wanted this incision to heal because I was on blood thinners. And that was the big scare, was that I might tear this open and bleed out. So guys, let me tell you, easy peasy. No pain post-surgery, no pain during the surgery. You don't feel anything. It was pretty cool. I'm back to pretty much 100%. So there you have it. That was my heart condition 2.5 years ago, the surgery, and I've felt great ever since. All right. Now Mojo wants to come in here and say hello because guess what? It's dinner time and I haven't fed him yet. So he's going to pester me for the remaining portion of this video. One other thing that happened to me just a few months ago that a lot of you guys can benefit from is I had eye surgery. And this is an elective surgery, so this is kind of expensive, all right? But I had lens implants. Combination, I couldn't see distance, I couldn't see near very well, I was having to use readers. And finally, I just said, screw it. I found out about this, and they've been doing it for years and years, long time. It's basically cataract surgery. So when you get bad cataracts, you can't see anymore, they pull your lens out, put in a new lens. And the lenses have just gotten better and better. They're really cool now. So I got something called light adjustable lenses. So they put them in, they pick a prescription lens that's going to get really, really close to what you need to be able to see properly. So one eye can see distance and one eye of my eyes can see up close. They put them in, and then after you wear them for a couple of months, you go back and you do another eye test, all right? And they go, okay, well, we can make your distance vision a little better, and we can make your reading vision, your near vision, a little better. Even though they've already put the lenses in, they can adjust them, and they adjust them just by shining a bright light in your eyeball for about 60 seconds. It adjusts the prescription or power of that lens to make your eyes better. So we did a minute, in one eye and 17 seconds in another eye, and then you live with that for a couple of months. And man, it was unbelievable how clear everything is. Another thing I didn't realize is your lenses, I'm 63 now, had gotten kind of old. And when you put these new things in, man, all the colors, everything's real vibrant and bright. I didn't realize that everything had gotten a little dull because of my old, tired, worn out, original, human lenses. So there you have it. These lenses can be tweaked 2 or 3 times until they get it to, basically as good as they can possibly make your eyes, and then they lock it in. And they lock it in by just shining light in your eyes for a minute and a half, and then boom, Now those lenses will never change, and they're supposed to be good for the rest of your life. And you can never get cataracts because your old original human lenses have been replaced with these new permanent lenses that can never basically supposedly wear out. All right, now for the final thing about me, which will pertain to a lot of you guys watching right now, and that is I just took a month off working out because I determined that I had central nervous system fatigue. And so what does that mean? It means basically that no matter how much rest you give your muscles, a day or two or three or four, the central nervous system, the system that sends the signals out to your muscles to contract, just gets worn down. And it's not something that's easy to notice, but this is how I noticed it, all right? And this happens to me twice a year, sometimes 3 times a year. I'll drive all the way to the gym, 15-minute drive. It's not like, right out in the backyard. I check in, I go into the locker room, I walk out to go work out, and I'm so tired, I look around and just say, I go back, get my bag out of the locker room and drive all the way back home. So 30, 40 minutes round trip, total waste of time. All right, so a couple days go by, I go back to the gym. I do it again. So anyway, I did that 3 times in 1 week. And so I was like thinking, oh my gosh, this is what's going on. I've got no energy. Even though I'm taking plenty of time, plenty of rest days off, my muscles shouldn't be, overly fatigued. It's your central nervous system. I've been working out, for probably 4 or 5 months without taking a pretty long rest. And by long rest, I mean at least 2 weeks. So simple as that, I took a month off. All right, that's a long time, but it gives your body, not your muscles so much, but your central nervous system time to basically fully recover. And now once I went back into the gym, man, it's just a completely different attitude. All right, I mean, I have way more energy, and the problem is, or the issue now is, of course, I can mentally focus enough to contract the muscles hard enough to lift the heavy weights and push yourself to failure when I'm doing a workout. And so that's all it is. You need to take at least minimum 2 weeks off. I can't tell you a specific time. I can't say to do it every other month, every 3rd month. I don't know. I think it's affecting me more often now that I'm older. But even young guys in their 20s, professional athletes, Olympic athletes, they don't work out year round. They take off. They have off seasons, where all they do is go out and play golf and, drink beer. Football players, basketball players, Olympic athletes, And so that's what's going on. There's 2 issues when we talk about recovery. One is giving your muscle fibers time to fully rebuild and recover. And that's usually, 2, 3, 4 days, okay, depending on the muscle fibers and how hard you hit them. But your central nervous system needs time to recover too. And eventually, it just kind of peters out, okay? And I can't tell you specifically how to know, except that you'll just slowly get to a point where you just don't want to work out, even though you were getting plenty of sleep. And even though I was eating well, and even though I was taking 2, even 3 days off per week and not working out, I was still just dead, had no energy. So there you have it. That's probably way too much information about me, but the only reason I tell you is because I think a lot of my issues pertain to a lot of you guys watching right now. Hopefully you can learn from my mistakes. And then, of course, in wrapping it up, I always got to say, you always have to stick with it and never give up on yourself.